Do not be afraid, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Beautiful words. Part of me, though, wonders, what on earth was Jesus thinking? What was Jesus thinking? What could they possibly do? What could they possibly achieve, these disciples, these followers of Jesus? And here he was promising them a kingdom, a kingdom, a kingdom. What was Jesus thinking? Because there was a kingdom in Jesus' day, and everybody knew what that kingdom was. And that kingdom, the center of that kingdom was Rome. And that kingdom had taken 7 centuries of war and blood and death to achieve. And that kingdom was controlled by one man, the emperor. The emperor's will was expressed and guarded by the army. Men with swords who kept the foreigners out and the population subjugated, and anybody who rose up against that power was crushed without mercy. What did Jesus think he was doing? What was he promising them? A kingdom. What does that even mean when faced with such naked power? And when you think about it, the Roman world was the ultimate capitalistic system, because anything and everything could be bought and sold. Goods and livestock, futures, even human beings. Everything could be bought, and everything could be sold, and everything had a price tag. What's this kingdom that Jesus is talking about? At best, it seems like a pipe dream or some kind of fantasy. At worst, some kind of sick joke to play on gullible and vulnerable people. A kingdom? Are you kidding me? Ha! What are you going to do, Jesus? Who are you? Where's your army? Where are your followers? Where's your treasury? When Jesus, on the day of his execution, was brought before the power, Pontius Pilate, Pilate asked him that same question. Where is your kingdom? People say you're a king. Are you a king? And Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. If it were so, don't you think my Father would send legions of angels to protect me and overpower you? But as it is, my kingdom is not of this world. It's not a kingdom in the way in which you imagine. My kingdom, our kingdom, doesn't have any borders. It's not a place. It doesn't have any boundaries. It doesn't have frontiers. There are no resident aliens in this kingdom. There are no foreigners in this kingdom. Everybody has a place. And this kingdom isn't built on power or violence or by the sword or by coercion. It's a kingdom of love. It's a kingdom of the mind, and it's a kingdom of the heart. It's a way of living, and it's a way of being in the world, which is not contingent on outward things. You think of those early Christian communities made up of Greeks and Jews, slaves and free. And some of the slaves were bishops in the church, men and women, and yet all were equal. This is revolution. It was revolutionary then. It's pretty darn revolutionary now, isn't it? That everyone is equal. I mean, we say it. But even in our glorious republic, people aren't equal, sadly. Maybe we'd like it to be so. People don't have an equal chance at things. Some are well connected, some are not. Some start with advantages and some do not. We are not equal, and yet in the kingdom of God we are. And this was the kingdom that Jesus was talking about. And it's a kingdom of the mind, and it's a kingdom of the heart. And it's not bound by externals. And it lives and breathes in all those who want it, who want it. And it's a kingdom you don't have to struggle for or be good enough for. That whole reading from Isaiah and God through the prophet saying, you do not need to sacrifice any more animals. In fact, they kind of stick in my craw. You don't have to. In fact, you can't buy your way into my good graces because I already love you. What I want you to do, I long for you to live in that love and then express that in the world. To plead for the widow, to make a place for the stranger, to lift up the brokenhearted. That's all that I want. And I'm not saying I'll love you if you do this. I'm just saying I love you anyway. But I want you to experience that love, and I want your neighbor to experience that love as well. Well, as it turns out, the kingdom of Rome is gone, like so much chaff in the wind. People thought it would last forever. And think of how many kingdoms have come and gone since then, and how many more kingdoms there will be. But guess what? Guess what? The kingdom that Jesus promised to those, nobodies from Nowheresville, guess what? That's still here, isn't it? That is still here. Look what they achieved. And their names are remembered more than the Caesars. We are here because of them. And we share in this same kingdom that Jesus promised them, he promises us as well. And all we have to say is, yes, I want it. All we have to do is move 6 inches and cross the boundary, and there we are. There it is. But the kingdom of this world is still very much alive and kicking, isn't it? Because how many times in your life have you been told, oh, you're not really good enough. You really don't have a place. Or who are you? You're too young. You're too old. You're not the right gender. You're not the right colour. You don't have enough money. You're not well connected enough. Who do you think you are? You're not good looking enough. You don't have any influence. You don't know the right people. You didn't go to the right school. How many times have you been told that? How many times? All of us. All of us. All of us. God never says that to any of us. Never. 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 So the kingdom of the world, let it be. But today, and from this day onwards, do you want to be in that kingdom? Yes. Where we are free, where we are equal, where we know we are loved, where we know we have a place. And from that place of love and certainty, may we be God's love in this world. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. little flock. All sorts of things will happen. But it is your Father's good pleasure amongst all of it, and despite all of it, to give you the kingdom today, now, and forever. Amen.